All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Heroes Connect Military Manufacturing event. We're so excited to be here talking with a company who is actively seeking military talent. These events are designed to help the broader military community better understand and get to know the manufacturing industry. So there are so many opportunities within our industry that directly align with the skills obtained from the military. So welcome again. Let me also introduce myself. My name is Katie Bowerman. I'm a senior program manager with the Manufacturing Institute, and I oversee the virtual Heroes Make America Military Skill Bridge Training Program, in addition to these Heroes Connect events and other virtual events that we put on for our transitioning service members and our military community as a whole. So today we're featuring a very well-known company, mostly for their delicious candy, but they do have other products, which is Mars. So we're featuring Mars today. So I'm excited for you all to get to know this company further. Before I introduce our first speaker, I briefly want to cover some general participation guidelines. First off, the event is being recorded. You got that notification when you first came on, and it'll be sent out as a recap email after the event. So if you can just make sure that your mic is muted throughout the event to minimize any background noise. But I do encourage you to be an active participant. So even though our mics are muted throughout the presentation, use the chat feature. So there is the function to where you can drop in any questions that you have. We'll go through the presentation, and then at the end, we will have a Q&A session. So I'll come back, I'll read your questions, I'll allow you to come on live, raise your hand and ask your questions live. But I do encourage you to talk with these representatives. This is your opportunity to join the discussion and talk with people who you normally wouldn't have access to at such a large company like Mars. So before I get started, so let's actually practice that chat feature. So if you can find the chat function, whether you're on your mobile device, hit the chat function. If you're on your computer, bring it up. And what I want you to do is put in the location that you are job searching in. So if you are job searching, city and state, a region, or a general state in general, I'm looking for, Texas. So drop in, where are you looking to relocate or job search in? So while you're doing that, I briefly want to highlight the Heroes Make America Skill Bridge program in general. We do have a lot of our students on this call, but we have other military affiliated participants, company reps, community partners from across the country joining us today. So if you don't know what Heroes Make America is, we're a DoD approved Skill Bridge program for transitioning service members, veterans, and military spouses. We provide a variety of certification trainings, as you see here, that go towards the manufacturing and supply chain industry. So our students learn a variety of topics to include things like safety, quality practices, various technical trainings like electrical, mechanical, and pneumatic training. And then we also have some logistics trainings. It just depends on where our students are training at, right? So you'll see here different program managers, the different certifications that we offer, and upcoming class dates. So we're going to drop in our program manager's contact information. But if you ever have questions about Heroes, just email heroes@nen.org and we'll get you to the right place. So in addition to our SkillBridge offerings, we also host a variety of other virtual events to include a new veteran learning series and our new Vets to Manufacturing virtual career fair. So we'll drop in those dates. Our next veteran learning series, it's not April 27th. It is May 25th, I think. We'll drop the correct one into the chat box. And then we have our virtual career fair happening on May 19th. And then we also have an in-person manufacturing specific career fair in June at Fort Riley, Kansas. So if you're in that area, mark your calendars for that one as well. So without further ado, let's move on to the main feature. I want to introduce Carol Golden. She's the talent acquisition account manager for Mars. So Carol, the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. We are delighted to be with y'all today. We're so excited to present to you Mars and a lot of different topics we're going to cover today. We hope we can make this very informational, very interesting, and allow a Q&A at the end. But we're going to start first with just some quick introductions from our team. So on our team, our talent acquisition team, it's Emily and Sean and myself. And we run different parts of our talent acquisition program for Mars manufacturing sites. We manage about 45 sites across the United States and Canada. And then Steve is going to join us in a little while. Steve is a leader at one of our manufacturing sites, Mars Wrigley site in Gainesville, Georgia. So Steve is going to give some really good insights of how he came into Mars from the military and his progression through Mars. And we'll touch base with him shortly. So let's go ahead into the presentation. We're very excited to give you this information today, and hope you'll find some really great insights. All right. Emily, we'll go ahead and start with our 5 reasons to join Mars.
Oh, Carol, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. So as you guys saw in that video, there's probably a lot of brands and products that you probably have in your pantry today, right? Some may be surprising. I know a lot of people, when they get introduced to Mars, they think of Mars as M&Ms, gum. They don't realize that half of our business is around the pet food, pet nutrition side of the business. So brands like Royal Canin and Pedigree and Greenies, that's all made by Mars. In addition to our amazing gum and our amazing confectionery brands of chocolate M&M's, Snickers, Skittles, all those amazing brands. And then what a lot of people are so surprised about is that we make Ben's Original Rice, we make combo snacks. A lot of people are so surprised by that. So just some really amazing products that we produce all over the world with 140,000 associates. We don't call our people employees, they are associates of Mars. And for those of you who don't know, we started our business in 1911 with Frank C. Mars. We're in more than 80 countries right now. We have 381 manufacturing sites. And then another tidbit that is so interesting to folks is they don't realize we own over 2,500 veterinary hospitals. So you may see in your local community PetSmarts that have Banfield Pet Hospitals, VCA Pet Hospitals, and BluePearl. All those are owned by Mars Incorporated. So not only do we produce confectionery, amazing food products and snacks, we have, again, another side of our business around vet pet nutrition. We are recognized as Glassdoor's best places to work. We are a private family-owned company. A lot of people don't realize we are still family-owned for a long, long time, and still owned by the Mars children. So as you can see in all these different logos, we make many products all across the globe, and I'm very proud of all the products that we make. And today we're going to talk to you about what are the jobs, where are the locations of these, all these individuals that are really proud to come every day and make these products that we as consumers also buy. So Emily, if you'll go ahead into the next slide.
All right, so some of our locations. So on this map, you are going to see all the pins that are in, let's see, we got green down here in Greenville, Mississippi. This is a food manufacturing site. Anything that is in yellow is going to be our pet manufacturing sites. And we have Kansas, we have some in Nebraska, we have one out in Nevada, we have Victorville in California. We do not have any manufacturing sites currently in Florida. If you guys do go to our careers website, you're going to see openings for Orlando, and that is for the M&M's World Store. So that's a question that usually comes up. So unfortunately, no, we don't have any manufacturing sites in Florida. We do have quite a few in Arkansas and a lot throughout the Midwest. Anything in purple is going to be our Mars Wrigley sites. So if you guys like those candies, look at the purple sites. And then anything that is the red pins is going to be Royal Canin. So Royal Canin is a subsidiary of Mars as well. And I will send I will send Katie a printout of this map so you guys can see all the locations as well too after this presentation.
And Emily, one thing I want to tag onto that conversation is what we hire for, and Emily will list out the roles, but they're pretty much production manufacturing. So they have several different titles, but it's mainly a machine operator. They're called production operators, packaging operators, processing operators. We call them team members. Then we have done the maintenance side of our business, maintenance tech, reliability techs, reliability engineers, and then there's a slew of other positions at our sites. We predominantly recruit for the manufacturing skilled labor positions. In addition to, I know Sean personally manages territorial sales manager roles in various parts of the country. So we call them TSM, territorial sales managers. These are individuals that we have accounts with the big box stores, and they pretty much, utilize these stores, of course, where we place our products and market our materials at these different consumer stores. So that's another one to be looking at as you're looking for roles at Mars, in addition to so many other positions across all different departments. But our focus is a lot. We constantly have roles. We're expanding, always making these products. We have line expansions taking place. We have site expansions taking place. So always hiring in these fields. Okay. All right, Emily, you want to go to the next slide? All right. Go ahead, Emily.
So why choose Mars? Why choose Mars? Mars, like Carol had mentioned, is a family-owned company, and they are very much so family-centric. So not only do they consider their employees their family, they also want you guys to have a great work-life balance as well. All right. So they care about your family. They care about the next generation. So from a day-to-day basis, they will look at how they can make the world a better place. If you guys watch Down to Earth with Zac Efron on Netflix, Mars was mentioned for their coral reef restoration project. And that is in line with Shiba cat food. So they try to, we also have a cocoa sustainability, and then they're trying to go net zero as well. So lots of sustainability. And then on top of it, what people also don't realize is that we are big with pets, but they also have adoption centers at some locations for animals as well. So, and they like to, associates can also adopt the pets, and then they're trying to create zero homelessness for pets. So great company when it comes to just, and that's manufacturing sites. You guys aren't going to have the dogs obviously on the manufacturing sites, but if you do work in an office location, some of the dogs can come into the offices as well. Okay. Want to add anything, Carol?
No, go ahead, Emily. We'll go on to the next slide.
All right, we got a video for you guys next.
All righty. Thank you, Emily. All right. So let's talk a little bit about our culture. We're so proud of the culture that we have at Mars. As we mentioned, we're family owned, very futuristic and everything that we do, purpose-driven company, and we value our veterans. We value our military spouses. We have a lot of different programs throughout all of our different sites when it comes to our military. Definitely veteran and military focused. We are the world's best multinational workplaces, Fortune 100 best companies to work for. Just really proud of some of the recognition that we've received over the years. We have an internal ombudsman program, a high percentage of women in executive senior management positions, and there's just a lot of great things as an associate of Mars that we're absolutely proud of. And even in the talent acquisition space, my team as recruitment for Mars, it's one of the most fulfilling roles, because we get to look for the right talent to come into the right position at Mars. And it's a company that sells itself with the product, with the brand, with the culture. We're very fortunate to have such an amazing brand to support and to find this great talent for. So, it is one of the most ethical companies, in the world. We're known all across, not just for the manufacturing side, but also, like Emily mentioned, we have 4 M&M retail stores in big markets: Orlando, New York, Mall of America, and Bloomington, Minnesota, as well as Disney Springs. We are seen as an employer of choice, and just really do amazing things to help our associates, and the benefits are unparalleled to many companies in the consumer products industry. So we're going to go over those benefits here shortly. All right, Emily. All right, here are some of the benefits I talked about. What's really cool is that in so many companies, you have to wait 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Benefits start day 1 at Mars. As a Martian, and that's what we are called, we are Martians, we get benefits day 1. We have very competitive pay structures. We have referral bonus programs. So if you are referring someone, you get paid to refer somebody that gets hired. Amazing learning and development. And learning and development, I think Mars takes to another level. There's a lot of companies that have a development programs, training, but it is a critical point with our leadership at Mars to make sure everybody who comes in has a training and development and growth plan. They take it very seriously and really do invest in our people. Tuition reimbursement, lots of paid time off, 18 paid weeks off for parental leave, 5+ days bereavement. I talked about day 1 with all of our insurance and benefits. 401k matching, very pet centric in those corporate offices when we have hybrid roles. Paid holidays, we have, again, another great training platform with Mars University. We have volunteer programs, ambassador programs. We have, I want to say, almost 100 associate resource groups. These are different groups. We have a military resource group and many others. So you find your niche where you want to become, more involved in the community and with your local team. A lot of different avenues for that. Mars really prides itself on the community involvement. We do so much within our communities, and we're well known for that. So we're very proud of that. Key focus on safety. It's number 1 in our manufacturing sites. We want to make sure everybody comes in safe and they leave for the day in a safe manner. So safety is number 1 priority. Very engaging work environment. I will say, even though it sounds like in manufacturing every day is the same, it's just not. It is, every day you can come in, you can have there's certain things that happen in a production environment that are the same, but every day comes in and presents a new opportunity or challenge. We're really proud of, like I said earlier, we're very proud of the brands that we make. And as an associate of Mars, you have a really great feeling of what you're doing every single day makes a difference in your community. And being really proud of the brand that you're making. And it's a fun environment. We have fun. There's in a lot of our sites, we have ping pong tables, we have exercise rooms, we make sure that we get that well-being is very important to us in our leadership. And so we do put a lot of investment into the well-being side as well. So great benefits. It's an amazing place to work. And, I hope as you review our openings, you can just see the details of the jobs itself and what we're looking for in our manufacturing sites. All right, Emily.
All right, another video for you guys.
So I come from a long line of Mars Chocolate North Americans, 3rd generation Mars, so it's definitely in the blood.
My grandfather started here with Mars in 1957. He was an engineer. He actually designed quite a few things that we still actually use today.
So I joined Mars directly after completing my MBA program. It's sort of like a dream realized, because before business school, I worked for companies where I always viewed it as sort of a short-term stint, but it feels very different at Mars.
I've just celebrated my 37th year as of May 9th working for Mars Chocolate. I know that the town has a lot of pride in the plant being here.
So as a manufacturer in America, Mars has a strong belief in doing what's right, not only for our business, but doing what's right for the communities in which we live and operate.
We have factories that have been around for, decades. And as the business has been around over 100 years, that's a long legacy. And people talk about the things that Mars has done in those communities. It has this wonderful ripple effect.
I believe that, Mars has had a positive influence as far as the town growth and as far as other businesses coming into the area to support the population growth that's happening.
So the way that we make decisions for investments within our facilities are really for the long haul. It's not about getting next quarter's results. It's really about how do we be the partner that our customers, our associates, and our communities can rely on for decades to come.
If you go to Hackensack, New Jersey, or you go to our site in Cleveland, Tennessee, it's definitely that same feeling, that same tight-knit community. We're taking care of each other.
Every location that you go into, whether it's here in the United States, whether it's overseas, every place you go into, you have that Mars feel.
I mean, if you think about it, Mars has actually taken care of my family for 3+ generations. And to me, it's something that we eat, sleep, and breathe Mars. It's in my blood. And I get excited when I come to work because I love what I do. I love everything about this place.
We're taking care of the people inside, we're taking care of the people outside, we're making great products, we're growing as a company, and that's really all we can ask for.
All right, thank you, Emily. Okay. All right, Steve, go ahead, Steve, introduce yourself and let the group know your background and what brought you to Mars and what life is like working at Mars.
Well, hey, everybody. I'm talking to you from Gainesville, Georgia, not Gainesville, Florida. We're northeast of Atlanta. I was actually born and raised in Atlanta. And when I went to the Air Force, I went to University of Georgia, ROTC, and joined back in, I know I'm old, joined back in 90, went active in 91. Throughout my career, I was aircraft maintenance munitions officer, got into acquisitions with like Air Force One and stuff like that. Had a little stint in pilot training, hurt my back, blah, blah, blah. So, but my son's flying 130s down at Little Rock, so that's pretty cool. Go to Yokota, Japan. So, yeah, throughout my career, you can see right there, kind of starting at the bottom, out at Travis Air Force Base on the flight line with 141s and then an engine shop, and did a little stint in Saudi and Scott Air Force Base is where I got into Air Force One and the other blue and white aircraft. And I was there at Incirlik when everything hit the fan in 9/11, and pretty much everything came through us for quite a while. Came back to the States at Ellsworth with the B1s and went to actually working with the Army and the Navy with the Chief of Air Force Liaison Office at Rock Island for single manager for conventional ammunition. And in between there, I went to Taji for a year and had fun there. That was a blast. Actually, really was for what it was. And yeah, I came out of the Air Force back in 2011 and had something lined up with Redstone Arsenal as an action officer, and that kind of fell through. So I transitioned fully to the civilian side, was a facilities and maintenance manager for a Kimberly-Clark corporate campus. Then went to a chemical plant as a same kind of role. And then I decided to try something different and interviewed with, at the time, Wrigley, which was bought out by Mars, but wasn't fully integrated at the time. And I gave it a shot. It seemed like a really good fit. So I came in here as a technical leader, which is a maintenance manager for second shift for all packaging. Did that for about a year or so, and then I joined a separate department. We split back off, and I took all the maintenance for that packaging group 24/7. And back in 2020, I transitioned to continuous improvement engineer. Very different, but I've always been big on trying to make things bigger and better, more efficient, and that seemed like a good fit. So I've been doing that since then. And I am actually looking at a coaching role in MSC, which is our Mars Supply Excellence program, which those of you who have any experience with TPM, it's basically a Mars version of TPM in manufacturing. So I've been here since 2016, as you can see, and there are a ton of opportunities here as well as throughout Mars. There's so many things to talk about, but I'll kind of just shoot around. There's a Veterans Coalition that I started. These gals are great about keeping me on target. And we started that back in 2018, I think it was, that there was some younger officers over here with a buddy of mine that were struggling transitioning to the civilian sector. They just didn't think the work ethic was quite the way they're used to and so forth. So we realized we needed to pull together as a coalition and help each other transition to the civilian sector. And you know, because we speak the same language. We all it's different from the civilian sector, but we're different from each other, but we understand our language as veterans very well. And that group, we're trying to expand out and actually make it a company-wide group. There's some pockets of veterans coalitions. There's some in dog tags and pet, and a couple other sites have been working with me to try to do something like what we have here. But let me go to the next slide. Yeah, there we go. So for the coalition, we're looking at just working with the site to help understand, to help transitioning military members, kind of assign that battle buddy or wingman to help with that transition. Those who have, you know, service connected issues. One of our big successes, we had a Air Force vet. He'd been here. He was a Vietnam era guy, and he had hearing issues his whole time out. And we worked with him in the local, I think it was a disabled vets organization, and got him full benefits that he is owed, as well as a back pay for that. So that was one of our big successes. And also right there, trying to create a good dialogue between the veterans and the civilians. We're all associates here. We're all Martians, but there are some differences between us. Next slide. Good and bad. So yeah, right there, just try to understand veterans as well as us understanding civilian structure. But you know, helping leaders understand that they get somebody right out of the military, that they're going to have certain ways of doing business and thinking, and to just help those leaders understand them and support them. But you can see some of the things that are unique. The pace and of life and work is different. There are often times in the military where we don't go home until the job's done, and here when it's time, it's time. Certain roles like mine is a salary that, you know, whatever's needed. But yeah, just the transition to the civilian sector, that's one thing I kind of miss, is like, okay, it's time for you to go to the dentist, it's time for you to go to the doctor. It was all kind of done for you, but out here you got to do it for yourself, and sometimes we don't always know where to go. And also a very clear chain of command. It's obviously a structured, we have a hierarchy here, but as associates, it's a lot flatter than what we have in the military. Next slide. So P&O is kind of our HR department for Mars. So we try to help them with understanding. I'm involved with this, trying to help the recruitment side of the associate journey. Also helping leadership if they have questions about, you know, what is it that we can do to attract military members and so forth. we had that coalition. I have a board downstairs that has the name of each of the members from each of their service, and they're very proud of it. I accidentally left a couple of guys off when I did an update, and they let me know real quick that I need to fix that lickety split and Ricky Tick. So I took care of that, and they're good to go. But we also try to communicate with other sites that may have some questions about dealing with the military and veterans. Next slide. I think that probably coming to a hold there. Yeah, so service never stops, and we're looking out for each other. I'll kind of piggyback on some of the stuff that they've covered already. The benefits are phenomenal to the point where I'm a retiree, so I had TRICARE dental and medical. I've kept TRICARE medical, but I actually have Mars Aetna for dental as well as vision. So it would have been just as easy to go with the medical piece, but I kind of don't want to lose it and get back through that hassle with TRICARE. So when I do actually stop working. So, but yeah, the benefits are phenomenal. And I'll be honest, I'm transparent, to almost to a fault. 18 weeks for paternal and maternal leave. It's awesome for the family. It is really, truly awesome. But holy cow, it hurts us sometimes when we need people to be here. But the family makes that, the Mars family makes that a priority. So that should give you a good idea. We're not treated like a number here. At this site in particular, I do need make sure you guys get the gum video for Gainesville next time, not just chocolate. So we like our gum here. We make all the sugar-free gum for North America here. We got a pretty cool video too. So, but yeah, here in particular, it's nice climate controlled. Most people have great breath because we are all chewing sugar-free mint gum and the sugar and the fruit gums and so forth. So yeah, it's a great environment. It's safety is key, and it's a great fit for veterans. I like I said, I tried several other spots and so forth. And while my heart would be in aviation, it's not the most secure environment job-wise, and I just never felt like a long-term career, which is stability is a big thing for those of us leaving the military. That wasn't the path I would really want to take. So somehow I ended up in food and beverage, and I ended up in gum plant. But it's worked out fantastic. I don't plan on going anywhere else. I plan on staying with the company in whatever shape or form that looks like. I'm trying to think. The opportunities, I looked at some of the locations folks were listing there. One was Manhattan, Kansas. There's one in Topeka. There's a big chocolate plant there. They make the greenies for your pets in Kansas City. Here in Georgia, we got us for gum up in Chattanooga. You've got Lifesaver gummies and Altoids. In Cleveland, you got another big chocolate site. Waco, Texas, big chocolate site. They also have Starburst and Skittles, I believe. Yorkville, just outside of Chicago, they've got Skittles. They've got our sugar gum, and they're also looking at taking some of our fringe sugar-free. There's also Burr Ridge, which is big. That's a big business right now. That's a ice cream up in just outside of Chicago. We've got headquarters for Mars Wrigley is up in Hackettstown in New Jersey, and we've got Elizabethtown in Pennsylvania, and we also have all the pet sites. So we have 14 Mars Wrigley. I think we have 16 pet, and then we have I think 6 Royal Canin, which while it's still pet, it's very specialized, and they're doing their own thing. But those are all opportunities, and that's just in the States. So you can, if it works out and you have the skill set and it makes sense, you could go overseas. You can go to Europe. We have factories in China. I know that's a little sensitive right now, but we're all over the place. So as the chart said, I think we're at 135, 160,000 people $35-40 billion company, very stable. We don't have to answer to shareholders other than the family. We don't get affected by that kind of stuff. Generally, it's very stable. People love their pets. They love their treats. So in that environment, we're a very stable environment. There's a lot to say. I tend to just kind of blurt all this stuff out at you guys and gals. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything you may have.
Awesome.
Did I cover everything, Carol?
Yes, great job, Steve. I love hearing your, you've been at Mars, you understand what we're looking for, and just all that insight is so welcoming. So thank you so much for that. And we'll open it up now, you guys. If you have any questions about Mars, the jobs we have, please open it up and we'll answer all your questions for you.
Right. Yeah, definitely throw in your questions.
California, we do have a site in Victorville, California, so Southern California, and then Reno, Nevada, which is not too far from California, more the North California. So we have Reno, it's really Sparks, Nevada, but Reno is a pet site, and Victorville, California is another one of our sites. But that's the only one.
And the Banfield headquarters is in Portland, I think.
Yes, it is in Portland. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll cover this. So the types of training and opportunities for new associates. Oh, that's definitely one thing I want to cover is this transition piece. I forgot about that. We assume you're going to have certain skills. If you're coming in as a operator or gum handler and stuff like that, then we're going to teach you what you need to know. Technical for maintenance, you need to come with some experience. You're going to you can't just come off the street and do that. But if you're coming out of the military, you're a mechanic, you have any kind of skill set like that, you're going to be a primary candidate. I can tell you for the packaging side, helicopter mechanics, fantastic. Because of just all the weirdness going on. And we got fast moving machines for packaging. That's always a great fit. But we also have processing, which is a little bit the larger pieces of equipment. Navy's a good one for that one. But pretty much anybody can fit that. But if it's a role that if you're just really don't feel like you have any skill sets, yes, we will train you. And even for the mechanic side, we're going to give you 18 months to 2 years to really get to that, really, seeing the matrix and really understanding how to work on these machines. But going back, I meant to be remiss to not touch on you folks transitioning. So there are a few things I want to recommend before I forget. First of all, when you really need to understand what you bring to the table. So from the military, you bring stuff like, how to wear a uniform, how to show up on time, how to be disciplined and dedicated to the mission at hand. And that's making gum or chocolate or what have you. And that means making money, which in the company definitely shares that with you. So really understand and break down what you've done in the military. If you're just like, I was a tank driver. Okay, well, what did that involve? Well, you're part of a team. You had to work on the logistics piece. You had to repair your own equipment. You had to coordinate with others. Put it in a bigger sense that a civilian side will understand. So really question yourself, okay, was I just loading a shell, or was I, did I actually coordinate the logistics to make sure that my tank was loaded up and repaired the way it should be? So just really think outside the box and bigger picture than just what your job description said in the military. The other thing is make sure that you customize your resume to the job you're applying for. Don't put in something that you're doing program management and then you're applying to be a manufacturing operator. It just make sure you read the job description of what you're applying for, take the time, and then customize your resume to fit. So that's really a key piece. It shows the attention to detail. It makes sure that you are asking the tough questions of yourself and you're customizing it to that job, and just have a whole stock of them. I've got one for a coaching role. I've got one for a technical side. I've got, whatever I need. I just pull out the Rolodex of resumes and go, okay, that's the one that fits, and then dust it off and I could go with that. So that is a huge recommendation that I think y'all need to take to heart. And And also make sure there aren't any mistakes on it. Take the time, proofread it, let others proofread it, take care of yourself, let somebody else help you catch stuff. Because after you've worked on a resume several times, you just don't see things anymore. It just blends in. So Iowa, there is one close to Iowa. I used to actually, I
North Sioux
was
City.
stationed at Rock Island.
North
Yeah.
Sioux City, South Dakota. Yeah.
Yep. There's also there's Toma in Wisconsin, pet factory there.
Mhm.
And not really Iowa, but there's Mattoon, Illinois. There's the Greenies in Kansas City and so forth, but
Yeah.
close, but not quite.
They asked about Ohio. So we have Leipzig, Lewisburg, and Columbus, Ohio, where we have
Yep.
manufacturing sites. And then Texas.
And
is
Elizabethtown's
Waco.
not too far, right?
Yeah, that's true. Elizabethtown.
And yeah,
Carolina.
it's in the region.
Yeah.
I know these gals will, these ladies will touch on this as well, but 401k match up to 6%, right? Is that right, Carol?
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Okay. And I'll let them touch on retirement plans. Let me see. New Orleans. No, the closest to New Orleans is the Greenville plant, the original Ben's. Used to be Uncle Ben's. That is, yep, Mississippi. Let's see. Phoenix. No, the closest would be Henderson and Vegas, right? Is it Vegas or Reno? No, it's Vegas, right?
We have Reno. Reno is our
Reno. That's right.
Yeah, Vegas. We have a M&M store on the strip. That's where.
That's what it is. Yeah. So Franklin, Tennessee. Yeah, there's the pet headquarters. Let's see, or management.
Yeah, I'll have them. We'll reach out
Okay.
to Maximilian Amorilla about that position to see what's going on there. Thank you for letting us know that. Okay.
For junior officers, I would see you folks coming in as, if not a production leader, at least a production coordinator. Is leading the people. But if a junior officer, I definitely would look at it as hiring as a production leader. You have a team of folks on your shift and you guide them through their production. And, Mars will make sure you understand the business and help lead your people, but leading people's leading people. It's just not going to be heavy handed. I mean, they're associates like you. And I don't use the term touchy feely compared to the military, but it's a lot more. We don't, we're not making bombs and cancer medicine here. We're making gum and food and, stuff like that. So, go into it with, I like to say sometimes you just need to chill out. And it's a good even keel business. We need to work hard and get things done, but we don't need to be too heavy handed. But a junior officer would absolutely be a great spot for a production leader role. And if anytime anybody, you have any questions about what that role means, I'm sure this group will be able to help answer that for you, and they can connect you with me as well. If you're not sure what that means, it reads like one thing, but it's something else, we can help answer that.
Yep.
Do you mind if I stop you there? Just because
Yep.
I know the question was in terms of junior officers, but do you mind kind of going through that hierarchy? So like, if someone was more junior, do they come in as an operator and then they move up to a team lead to, can you talk about the hierarchy of those positions?
Okay. So, I'll break it into function. So operations, you have a gum supplier. They literally are the supply utility worker. They get us the materials and they deliver the gum to the line for packaging. And I have been a packaging guy, so my focus always tends to be on that side. But they also deliver the materials to the processing side. So we make the raw, for us, our site in particular, we make the raw material, the base, we mix it, flavor it, we sheet it, and then we package it, and then we send it out the back door. So you have the gum supply, then you have an operator, and there are different levels of that. And then you get into the next phase would be, if you are very experienced and you want to get into leadership, you become a production coordinator. So you're the person that's going to help with the training and coaching of the team. And it's kind of that's your NCO on the floor. That's your working leader. Production leaders, you're getting into kind of cross between senior NCO and young CGO type. And after that, you can go into, you got an area manager role, which would have like a half of a function. So we have the stick department, which is made up of slim pack and mega pack. We have a VSM, a value stream manager. That's kind of like that'd be like a squad. Well, it'd be more like a group commander, or I guess battalion commander. And then under them, you would have a couple of functions under them. And the area manager is in that role, transitioning between production leader and VSM, with the understanding that their career progression is to become a value stream manager. And obviously, the site director would be the next highest level for them. Maintenance technician, senior maintenance technician, maintenance coordinator, maintenance leader. Pretty straightforward. We have engineering. Engineering here in particular tends to be more of program management, but you definitely need engineering skills. We also have logisticians. We have logisticians out in the warehouse. You got the warehouse function. So any of you in that career field, you'll understand everything about it. So from the warehouse on, and then you get into the more soft skilled, white collar kind of jobs, like in an office or that sort. There she got my video. There you go. Can't hear it, but you guys can watch it. This is our factory right here. That's us. And I'm sitting in that building off there to the right. So we're, like I said, we're about 90 miles northeast. No, not 90 miles. We are 45 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta, just far enough out. And so this is what we do here. So it's there's a lot of roles that you can find to fit with the Mars family and so forth. But remember what I talked about is find out how your skill set fits. Like I said, I was a maintenance officer, munitions officer, I did acquisitions. I was a facilities and maintenance manager out in the civilian sector for a few jobs before I came here. You figure out what works for you. And sometimes you may have to take a job that you're not really looking for. I wasn't looking to work in gum, but it's worked out fantastic. And I actually do love it. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephen. I have another question, whether it's for you or for Carol, but those of our folks who are more senior, so maybe some of our retirees or folks with 10 plus years, are they able to move directly into a leadership position, or do they need to grow from within the company?
Yes. Hey, that's one of my Army buddies just dropped in here, so I'm talking to Heroes Connect here, man. Yes, in a leadership role. Actually, Ben here just walked in. He did a couple other jobs before, but he had the experience in the Army, and we got some other guys that have come straight into leadership roles here. The more leadership, the better. You're not going to come right in and be president of the world overnight, but if there are definitely opportunities for that. So it literally is a full spectrum. If you're 2 or 3 year, private, and you just kind of want to get out there and see what's going on, come supply or maybe an operator. It depends. But if you're a CGO or a senior NCO, you want to find a leadership role, we have production leaders and production coordinators that we need to fill. So there are definitely opportunities for that.
Yeah, and Steve, I've seen it across all of our different sites across the US. It just depends on the background and experience and what you had, the experience in the military. We do hire a lot of production leads straight from the military. And then we hire a lot of people in maintenance, and a lot of people come in as operators. It just depends on what the background that they're bringing in. There's a few other questions I want to answer that we may have missed. The Texas locations are Temple, Texas and Waco, Texas, where we have 2 sites. And then by Savannah, Georgia, it would be Gainesville in Georgia. We have Albany, Georgia is the closest to Savannah. We roast a lot of the peanuts for a lot of our candy. Is the
actually now it's all combos. Peanuts.
Oh, it is all combos. Nice.
To Waco, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so that's the closest to Savannah. And then I saw a question around internship program. So we do have an internship program. What that means is it's like a campus relations with our educational partnerships with our colleges and universities is what this is. We hire about 150 interns a year into all different programs, whether it's marketing, engineering, IT, and we do internships with students that are going to our four-year universities. And we pretty much hire them in their junior year, and they do an internship junior, senior, and then our goal, honestly, is to hire them full-time. So that's what we call our internship program. It's more of a campus relations internship program across all of our corporate office and sites.
Well, one thing I'd like to foot stomp is covered earlier in one of the slides, but the company's serious about development. You know, Ben here, he's a production leader, and he wants to get into CVS, which is, startup programs and projects and so forth, and bringing in new equipment and so forth. So we're actually, we support him to try to learn that and get him set up for that next progression. And as I pointed out, I came here as a maintenance leader, and now I'm a CI engineer, and now I'm looking to become a coach. So that is pretty much everything you saw on that slide about what this company is about is all straight up. I mean, that is real. It's not just smoke and mirrors and dazzling you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions? I want to make sure, Katie, that we've answered everything in the chat. Just going through one more time to make sure.
So
I
quiet
think
group.
that's everything from the chat, but I did have a follow-up question in terms of timeline, because I know a lot of our folks usually ask, like, should I apply 30 days out, 45, 60? So what's the average, apply to hire kind of timeline for Mars that they should expect?
Great question. And I do want to elaborate a little bit more on this about the process. So I'll answer your question first. Apply now. Okay, we can give offers out for you to start later. Okay, so if I'm you, I want to secure my opportunity of where I'm going to go before I exit the military. So it is, if we have openings, apply. Okay, we will always work with you on an understanding of when your exit date is. But I encourage you, if this is where you want to be, don't wait to apply. Okay, and the process is like this: you apply online, everything's online, of course. You apply online. There's a few steps to go through, of course. Once you apply, there's an assessment. It's called SJT, but it's more of a behavioral technical assessment to make sure that you have the skill sets that we're looking for. Okay, so that assessment, I think it takes about 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes to take. Once you pass that assessment, there'll be an individual screen, or one of our recruiters screening you. And then if that goes well, they will set you up for an interview. What we're really going to focus on here with our heroes is Sean, who's on our call. Sean Daly is one of our specialty recruiters. Once you apply to a position at Mars, Sean is going to take that information, and we're going to get it to the appropriate recruiter, and we're going to track kind of where you're at in the process and keep you up to date and up, so you know where you're at in this process. This is new for us, having Sean as like our concierge point of contact for our Heroes Make America program. And so you'll always be in the know of where you're at in the process and try to get you through as fast as we can. What we call in the recruiting industry our time to fill, from the time we post a job for the time you get the butt in the seat, is typically about 30 days. It could be more, just depending on, when you can start, of course. But the process itself, you could apply and be interviewed within a week. Okay, that's just how fast it can go. Sometimes we do events all across the country that we do get a lot of military people coming into our hiring events, and we give offers within 24 hours. But we can move as fast as you are willing to stay in the process, check your emails, respond to phone calls, because we try to move as fast as we can, because we need great talent. We're competing with other industries. So we're going to fight for the best talent, and we make the process as engaging as possible to keep you, make sure you're informed, because as we know this is a great home for our veterans, we know it's a choice for you. Okay, so we make ourselves very military friendly, but we know you have choices, but we want to be your employer of choice. So we try to make the process as engaging as possible. Apply as soon as you guys see a position that you're interested in. We will work with you on start dates. Okay, but don't wait, is what I say, because we have opportunities all the time as we continue to grow. So take the opportunity, really read the descriptions and understand. If you have questions, Sean can help you, and then we'll get you to your individual recruiter, because we have 20 recruiters across the nation that support all these different openings and these different manufacturing sites. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and I know we dropped in Sean's contact information into the chat box. So for those of you who are interested, he's going to be your main point of contact. So definitely utilize him.
Yeah.
So do we have any other questions? Oh, do you want to?
Sorry, just one more thing. I just want to make sure when I answered it earlier, it says what roles for senior NCOs. I see a senior NCO and a young officer is in this transition to both be leaders. So, you know, the opportunities are going to be the same. Either production leader would not be out of the range of a senior NCO at all. And just, you know, this slide reminded me there are plenty of openings here, but this site in particular used to be you had to die to pass on your slot to work here, because this was the only manufacturing job in the county just about. But now there's a lot of turnover inside the factory, you know, people getting new jobs, people retiring, there's always something happening. So if the timing doesn't work out right, you just kind of find something else, that's fine, I understand. But if you're really interested in Mars, keep looking, because it updates and changes very frequently.
And Steve, I just want to touch base on this last question from Maximilian. The interview process, yes, we use a process. Sometimes we do live phone screens, but we leave it up to the option of the candidates. We have a program called HireView, which it is a video one way, so you can do it on your time. Some people aren't available. They're working, or they're, you know, still in the military. They have obligations. They can't talk to us during the daytime. So we use a tool called HireView, which is a link. You click on the link and it asks you the questions through a video format. And then we receive it and we watch it. And that's how we assess, did you answer the questions? Do you have the skills that we're looking for to move to the next process? So we do both. So thank you for sharing with us that your interview process that was only one step of the process. The other step is a live interview inside one of our sites typically.
Yeah.
So
if you have a choice, take the live one. You know, I'm just saying, just go that route, because that way you can read your audience as well. So with the other way, you're just kind of on your own.
Yeah.
I see a question. Do you see that from Jamie Carroll? You answer that.
We let Sean Daly know what job you apply for. Yeah, you'll see Sean's email in the information. You can always reach out to Sean and let him know you applied. He'll just give a heads up to the recruiter for that location. Absolutely, that's fine. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know we're just about out of time. Emily, did you have any other slides before we do our closeout?
No, I think this is the final one. So as you can see, a lot of openings. Scan that QR code. It'll take you right to the site. And a lot of our positions do have a sign-on bonus. So be watching for that as well. So just thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your attention today. We're so, just delighted that you were able to spend time with us today, and just we hope to see your application. Okay.
So thank you, Team Mars, for a great event. I always love all the videos. I love being able to see into the facility. I don't know if you guys caught that, but SNICKERS were being made as the Q&A session was going through, which I love. I love seeing that process. I mean, these facilities are state of the art. I mean, food is being produced here. It's not the stereotypical dark, dingy manufacturing. I mean, these are state of the art facilities. And so definitely consider Mars as an option when you're looking at your next position. Look on their career website, connect with Sean, follow Mars on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. Also follow Here's Make America while you're on there. But just want to say one final thank you to Team Mars for all the great information. And then for our participants, thank you for joining us today. And then hopefully you will join us next week, May 10th. We have our next manufacturer. We have COCOAVIA coming, large glass construction manufacturer, talking about their company. So thank you all, but that's a wrap. It's 3 o'clock, time to go. All right, y'all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
I actually have a question.
Oh, sure.
Did this just start? Because my emails and everything I signed up for said 3 p.m. start.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, that's not, just to let you know, that's not in the email.
Okay. I will, well, the recording